Alright, we're still goofing with the Limitless mod. Basically, if you didn't see yesterday's video, this is a mod that makes it to where every time you level up, you get 10 skill points, starting at level 1 all the way up to level 80. So we have 800 skill points. On top of that, it makes every single 5 out of 5 skill a 100-point skill instead. So we're gonna goof with a couple of the odds and ends and curiosities of these characters, kind of just because why not? We're going to start with Axton here. Very first thing, let's just max out expertise, because who doesn't like a little bit of a swap speed? Hold on, I've got to close the inventory because it breaks a little bit. Don't worry about that. So now we have a permanent 1,400% swap speed up. So, yeah, that's pretty snappy. That kind of breaks your ears and your eyeballs a little bit. Hold on. How many skill points do you need before this feels instant? Right? Hold on. Alright, so like 10 would be pretty standard. That's not that fast. 20? That's respectably snappy. Okay. 30? I mean, like, that's plenty, right? 30 seems like a good skill point investment for that. So we'll keep it at 30. Overload gives 10% mag size buff for assault rifles per level, so that could be pretty funny. Let's see here. What else do we got? Gun damage and fire rate for non-elemental guns up to 500 and 300% could be pretty good. Yeah, okay. Let's max out overload. Let me get an assault rifle on the character just to see how this looks. This is dumb. What's the smallest assault rifle mag we can get? And then let's just work off of that. You know what? Let's use a Becca. I don't have carpal tunnel right now, and I feel like it would be kind of funny. So, boom. It's a Becca. It has all Jacob's parts, because Loot Lemon goes crazy like that. 16 mag. 176 mag. Honestly, not as insane as I thought it would be. I was kind of expecting, like, all of it. But just all of it, basically, I guess. But, yeah, I guess that's about right. And then, yeah, if we paired that with Duty Calls, we think Duty Calls is multiplicative damage. So, you could just become Dude Rifleman pretty well. And then, of course, Ranger is in this skill tree. You could just run Ranger and have 100% bonus to a lot of stuff. Hold on, we have more skill points. 100% gun damage, crit damage, fire rate, mag size, reload, and max health. Of course, accuracy is there too. So, like, this could be pretty funny. Hold on, let's go visit some enemies. And honestly, before we visit the enemies, let's go ahead and get down our right tree a little bit. It doesn't matter what we pick here. Let's go for Phalanx, let's go for Barons, and then, yeah, just a little bit of cooldown rate, and then just kind of, just sort of get that up to 100% chance. There we go. So that's theoretical invulnerability right there. So that's pretty cool. Now, theoretically, we can no longer die. I guess I could just kind of run whatever at this point. And then, yeah, we can just fulfill your dream of becoming a dude cowboy man while listening to the best sound in the video game. That is Grit. Yeah, we're effectively invulnerable with 25 skill points invested into Grit right now. That's really, really stupid. But I don't think Middle Tree is going to be where the funny is, so let's take all of our points back out of Middle Tree. Let's just put enough points into our right tree to get Grit back to where it was. We might need these. There we go. So that tree is good. Let's get a little bit of our swap speed back. 20 points is reasonable to get Longbow Turret and Do or Die. And then, like, you know, there are other really good buffs in the skill tree. Metal Storm would be hilarious with the amount of fire rate that gave, but also I would never get to use it properly. And then let's look at our left tree. Sentry. Plus 1 shot fired per burst, plus 2 seconds of turret duration per skill point. Now it's 100 shots fired per burst and an extra 200-second duration. That's pretty cool. Willing would insanely improve our shields, so let's just dump like 50 points into that. I still have 581 skill points left over, so let's get a little bit of health regen. Nothing too crazy. Let's just... Honestly, I kind of just want to max it out. Let's just max it out. We have skill points. We can invest. There we go. So 40% of our health back per second on top of the fact that we're actually just invulnerable right now. Let's get a little bit of some onslaught, get a reasonable amount of movement speed for our character on kill skill. I'm not going to be able to control this at all. And then Grenadier gives +1 nade capacity per skill point. Let's just get 100 grenades real quick. That's cool. Love that we're doing that right now. And then I guess we'll need some damage to go alongside that. So let's just buff steady a little bit there. There we go. And now we're playing Prime Axton, right? Oh, we have more skill points. It just visually didn't show up. Hold on, let me spin those. Steady is good. Battlefront, because we'll have turret up probably for most of what we're doing, I'd assume. But I don't even know. I don't even know what to spec. This is so dumb. This is such a stupid mod. It's funny, but like, God. Alright, let's do that. What if we need cooldown? We might need cooldown eventually. And then, I don't know, let's just get some more passive gun damage buff. Passive gun damage sounds pretty good. We could have gotten... Honestly, yeah, reload would have been a great idea. But I think we'll be okay. We have 110 grenades to our name without a stockpile relic. We could have more with the stockpile relic, of course. Let's just go to a thick boy. Let's go to Badmaw first, since we're right here at Bloodshot already. Hello, Badmaw. Alright, turrets. Shoot him forever. I guess they still have small health bars, huh? Yeah, you can't do much about that. But the duration is so good. I literally can't recall the turrets. This is a recoded problem as well. How was that nade damage, though? That seemed pretty good. Let's go to Terra. Oh, that movement speed is fast. Hold on, I should test that too. Right, put one turret there, put one turret here. That nuke will probably kill stuff, right? It didn't. There we go. So we just get our movement speed going nice and good. Movement speed in Borderlands 2 is weird. If you have too much, you actually have to build up acceleration to get to your top speed. And then as you can see, it just kind of instantly stops. So yeah, movement speed in BL2 is cursed. It requires, like, consistent running. Alright, let's go to Terra, and then let's get on to another character. Our cooldown's actually not that fast. And that's with a bone and 40 points into resourceful. I mean, it is like a, what, 42-second cooldown? So, like, it's not bad. It's just not great either, you know? Yeah, we can almost recall it. We just have to have 2 turrets out to have it work. I just got shoved. I'm still susceptible to death if I get shoved, I guess. I feel bad when I miss a nade, but then I realize I have 100 of them, and I don't feel so bad anymore. Like, this is a thing in the base game where I am kind of sparing with nades because the stockpile for them is so small compared to, like, how many you usually have to use for a lot of combat in the game. But it doesn't matter. We have 110 of them. We're gonna be fine. Alright, Immortal Axton versus Terra. Make him purple, hopefully. Throw balls. Wow, even with like an insane amount of damage buff, that's actually not a lot. Huh. Alright, how's Herald treat you? Also not that insane. That's cursed knowledge. I kinda hate how little that does for how much buff I have right now. I guess that's why we just abuse multiplicative stats and stuff. Alright, let's try a meteor shower out then. Somehow worse. Well, Slide kinda kicked in and then that helped. We can play aggressive though. That's just funny. I don't care. The normal reload speed compared to the insane swap speed is really, really funny. I probably could have put a little more reload speed in, right? Because if we just do this... Even that's a lot, right? Actually, that's not that bad. Wait. %800 reload. There we go. It's still not as stupid as people who run, like, modded BA ranks either, is the silly part about this. Huh. Alright, well, yep. There is the Axton portion of this. Just kind of wanted to test it out. Turret is still very vulnerable to anything, because it's a vanilla turret. But, like, the movement speed's funny. The literal infinite gaming is funny at 25 points in grit. And then, yeah, just like everything is kind of just funny. That's just kind of how this mod is. It's just all kind of funny to work with. Let's load a 0. Okay, so 0, right? I'm seeing two very prominent options right away. I'm seeing sniper rifle gaming, which, hold on, let's get some swap speed on the character. We don't need that much. Just 30 points in that to feel a little snappy, a little light. Okay, so, infinities are going to be insane. I could have stacked way more crit and reload, so like that could have also been insane as well. And then at one with the gun gives all of our snipers insane mag size, critical ascension, kunai, and many must fall because of course. Some swap is nice, counter strike is nice, ambush of course, unforeseen because I gotta see what that looks like. Rising shot's gonna be insane too because that's like 1000% gun damage right there. Kunai and stuff, Two Fang because of course, killing blow is gonna be nutty when it procs. Backstab is gonna be nutty. And then, like, yeah, we'll just see how this is by itself. I don't have melee equipment, so let me go ahead and spawn some in. And then we'll test all that. Everything else has, like, okay reload, but snipers are just going to be insanely snappy and also be the entire reserve, so it almost doesn't matter. Let's test out Infinity Gaming, because, I mean, this is obviously the meta pick for every 0 player. So, invis, throw kunai, shoot boss. We probably should have gotten more crit damage on this build, huh? Go invis, kunai, sniper. Huh. Alright, well hold on now. That feels comically low compared to what I'm expecting. So I think I'm the problem. Yeah, because like realistically, for most characters, we should just be like shredding right now. Even for 0, we should be shredding right now. hold on. Yeah, let's actually, like, focus the builds a little more around what we're doing instead of trying to make a generalist build. That'll do a catch-all. So, a little bit of a tune-up. We're going killer, dump points into headshot, dump points into velocity, maxed out one-shot, 25 into at one with the gun, kind of just because I don't need a ton of stuff in sniper, because it's just mag size and reload that we're taking advantage of there. 20 in fast hands because it's nice. Rising shot is maxed. Unforeseen is maxed. Enough in two fang to get 100%. And then 100 grim, 100 follow through, and then just kind of a couple points left over. So just kind of play around, do stuff with them. This should hopefully feel a little bit better. We're going to try B with Sheriff's Badge to just dispense bullet a little faster. See how this goes. Okay. So first off, slag chance, I need to have on a crossfire or something. So yeah, that feels a lot stronger for sure. And is definitely more fun than just doing the generic meta of Sandhawk or Lyuda Gaming. So like, yeah. What about... Look at that projectile speed on the Pimpernel pellets. It is spawning those shots way off in the distance compared to where they should be. Okay, let's give ourselves a Lyuda and then do Lyuda gaming as well. Oh god. Oh wow. That sucks. That's way worse than I thought it would be. Okay. Well, hold on. I need sniper ammo before we continue now. But, like, there we go. Okay. Sniper 0. On controller, because I don't want to be able to aim. Yep, it's Sniper 0. Just, like, a little faster. And also, yeah, if you actually are able to aim, of course, Sniper 0 will feel leagues better than the goofing that I am doing. Yeah, you can basically just instantly pop eyeballs out. Okay, that's cool. Okay, so minor downside, you might just poke his eyes out faster than you can kill him. And then he might just only turn that side of his face to you at all times for some reason. I deserve this. Okay. So, yeah, it looks like the gun gaming is really good. I am not great at Melee 0 at OP10, so I don't think I will be giving that another retry, to be entirely honest. But I'm sure that killing blow proc is hilarious at max level like this. So let's go test out Unforeseen and then just keep this ball rolling. Okay, so we just want survivability on the character, basically. So antagonist, killer buffs ambush, which I honestly need to be speccing for this build. So let me do a respec real quick. And by that I mean literally just grab only a handful of skills, because that's all you need for this. There we go, that's maxed out. Get Unforeseen maxed out. And then also just get a little bit of cooldown, probably. So we'll just max out Grim. That gives us a good little bit more cooldown. There we go. 150 is pretty good. A little bit of movement speed. I don't want to go too crazy on the movement speed because I want to be able to control where we go. That's kind of nice. And then, yeah, we'll just kind of whatever. Who cares for the rest of it? Somehow skip up some of the more useful skills. Still have 256 more skill points left over. Hold on. Like, it's absolute absurdity what you can get away with in this mod. This is what Unforeseen gamers wish Unforeseen was like at OP10. And I don't blame them because it's really funny. Oh wait, he didn't die? Huh. So it's not even as insane as I expected it to be. Oh, well, hold on. Okay, yep, that's a visual damage cap. Hold on. Let's get a little Eevee on the character. Yep, just a little more cooldown on top of the build. Let's take this over to, like, Pete. Because Pete has revives during his fight, and I feel like that could work very well. Okay, so immediately, I'm just gonna spawn all the dudes. Start stacking. Dump. 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 Huh. I mean, yeah, if you have 100-point Unforeseen, I would honestly just expect it to be doing this to people. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty funny. And of course, out of all the bosses to test it on, I feel like it's just Pyro Pete because he has a shield and, you know, shock damage and stuff is just good for him always. So, yeah. 0 is done, I think. I mean, of course, I didn't do the melee stuff very well, but... Okay, hold on. Let me try that. Right, surely that's low enough, right? And then this is just like a one-shot, isn't it? Yes, that is in fact a one-shot. How much damage was that? There's our thousands. There's our millions. 31 bill. That's honestly not as much as I thought it would be. But that still is an insane amount of damage. Okay. Okay, so this is a Maya I already have, so she already has, like, my traditional spec on her. And it looks stupid with this mod on. Well, let's think about this a little bit. Bullet speed and gun damage, that's fine. Ward for a bunch of shield capacity and recharge delay down. That's nice. Suspension for infinitely phase locking a man. Not infinitely, but like it's basically a minute of phase lock. Kinetic reflection for invincibility and just dunking on men. Fleet, because yes, I'll just make this like something reasonable. 200's good. Inertia would give a bunch of shield regen and reload speed on kill skill. That's nice. Quicken for a bunch of extra cooldown. Hold on, let me reload. There we go. Let's just put like 20 points into that. Subsequent doesn't really matter, so let's just do that. Crit damage and melee damage, whatever. Sweet release. Yeah, crash my game. I feel like I'm gonna regret specking this soon, but like whatever, it's too late. Wreck is funny, so we'll do Wreck. Sure. We still have 299 skill points left. Elated for like our entire health bar per second. Let's just stop at like 50 on this one. We don't need to go too crazy. Recompense for 100% chance to hurt the enemy that hurts us. Sustenance for passive. We can pass on that. Life tap's already good. Flicker is elemental effect chance. Foresight is a bunch of mag and reload passively. That's funny. Let's buff that up a lot. Immolate. I mean, Immolate is one of Maya's filthy skills, so of course I'm going to buff that. And then we have a couple of class-specific damages over here, but we only have 89 points left, so let's just focus on silly stuff first. So Chain React for that. Reaper would be pretty good, but I guess I could just go back over here for a little bit of extra quality of life instead. And then yeah, we'll just circle back around to our actual class abilities in a second. Okay, so first off, infinite phase lock. It's not infinite, but like you get the idea. We could also have spec'd Thought Lock to have made it a effectively permanent friend. Then we could also use Chain Reaction, because Chain Reaction doesn't actually like to target Thought Locked enemies because they become friendlies. So we could do that just for infinite chaining capacity. Oh goodness, I forgot about Sweet Release. Hmm. Fun fact, Sweet Release aggroes the entire rest of the map you're in for a second. It'll definitely aggro the entire map every time now. This is dumb. Hold on. Okay, so what do we need to test? Chain Reaction versus, like, Bunker. But not with the Pimpernel because that'll just crash the game. We know that'll just crash the game. Let's just use, like, a Sandhawk or something reasonable. And unfortunately, I don't know how to set up a zombie Maya properly. I know that it has to involve with dropping your health down to 0, and then you're technically dead, but you're alive. I guess I could just buy a random turtle shield and try to drop it and see if that'll work. But I feel like the Immolate damage will go crazy. So we'll have to try that out against, like, Terra or somebody. Alright, throw out Slag, just in case, you never know. And then just kind of... Well, we didn't crash, so let's just kind of... Huh. That hurts. I regret doing that. That hurt my eyes so much. So we didn't crash. That's interesting. But yeah, the chain reaction is in fact chain reacting. So that makes sense. Let's go try to get a reflect kill going on against a boy because, I mean, we should be able to just insta reflect kill a guy with kinetic reflection, right? Yeah, that checks out. Yep. If enemies shoot me, it hurts. That makes sense. Alright, well, yeah, so we chain good, we reflect good, we have nearly infinite phase lock duration. I mean, it's just good stuff. Let's swap over to skill damage and then test out our skill damage. Okay, so what we're looking for in this is a lot of Sweet Release because it's funny, a lot of Helios and Backdraft because they're funny, and then a lot of Blade Phoenix. We'll just kind of see Orb flying around doing Orb stuff at the same time. We could run a Transformer, and we could also run whatever it is, the slow hand, that's what it is, to try to get that going too, but I kind of just want to do this for right now and see how this goes. Wow, that's not just instant death. Hold on, let me get running forward a little bit to do Blight Phoenix. It lags the game so much. And then, yeah, we're almost immune to bullets, so that's pretty funny. And then, yeah, backdraft to melee damage is just kind of supplemental. It's not insane by itself. Oh wait, we have Immolate. That's not gonna carry us. Oh well. You get the idea. Alright, let's get some backdraft stuff. Head over to Terra and then test that and Immolate together. That looks about right. So, okay, I apologize for everybody's eyeballs, but this is just the way the backdraft build works. You just get a slow hand that's strong enough to pop a transformer, you get the transformer low enough to be popped by the slow hand, and then you just abuse backdraft. Unfortunately, this also means that it just hurts to look at, because you're just shooting yourself in the foot, and then winning because of it. It's not good. And then there's a good chance of death, because of course there is. Oh well, I don't have a revive on. Let's go test against Terra, do Immolate, do backdraft, see how things feel. Alright, pain and suffering time. So first we're gonna do eyeball destruction, so people with sensitive eyes beware, as you already have noticed. Unless I get knocked too far away to try it, hold on. Yeah, that was never gonna turn out well. We chunked him a little bit though, we took his health bar down a notch. Let's do the Immolate thing instead, because that's way more reasonable. Okay, so what this relies on is multiplicative damage. Because effectively, whenever you hit an enemy that is slagged in this game, you will deal 3 times damage, or whatever. And then Immolate looks at that 3 times damage, and then applies that. But that also gets slag bonus, so that's also multiplied by 3 after. So doing something like this hits like a truck, because of course it does. So yeah, that's pretty funny. Makes sense, checks out, you know? Oh yeah, also if you take damage with 0 health, you just die. It doesn't matter if it's a ground shake or if it's just like the tiniest little poke. It will just instantly kill you, any instance of damage taken. So you do have to be a little careful when you're goofing with this. But yep, that is what Immolate does. That counts as a tick of damage, him touching the floor there. So yeah, that's what Immolate does. Is pretty silly. It is just about as strong in, like, vanilla, honestly. Like, the Immolate buff here isn't even doing that much more than I expected. So, it's just funny. It's just a good little meme. You shoot, and then either you just enter fight for your life to keep your amp shield, or you just swap to a turtle shield because it drops your health to 0. Okay, Mr. Door. There's a couple obvious things here. This is fine. Pistol stuff, all I need is 1 is fine. Money shot. Oh, hold on, it broke. That's not even the amount of damage it actually will deal. It'll be more like 9,600 or something like that. So, you know, sure, why not? Divergent Likeness is pretty good. Lay Waste is pretty good. Keep It Piping Hot would actually be a lot of extra buffs as well. And it's also his only grenade damage buff. So for a grenade build, we could run this. No Kill Like Overkill is always nice. Down Not Out. Inconceivable. Does this stack? Hold on. If it does, then like 20 points is enough. Filled to the Brim would give us an insane amount of reserve to work with. Last longer. What Salvador doesn't want to be gunzerking? And then you can just cancel this yourself if you're worried about that. So like, there you go, 300 seconds. Reload's good, cooldown's good. 5 shots or 6 is also pretty funny. I probably made a mistake running this if I'm going to run Deputy build, but we'll just keep a shield on or something. So let's just go ahead and do that. There we go. Let's just double your fun, because that's always good. Yippee-ki-yay is only a 5 point. That feels like that's cursed, but whatever, it's fine. Get some. Shooting an enemy decreases gunzerk cooldown. I don't think I even need this. Let's just 5 point it. Like, we could do more, but we have a 300-second gunzerk. We will surely get our cooldown in time if we do this. Then we have that. Hard to Kill is kind of funny. It gives us passive health regen. Insight is nice, though, with the movement speed and the reload speed, so let's put a couple points there. Alright, how many skill points do I have? Oh, 400. Okay. Let's be a little more generous. Bus that can't slow down. Let's just get, like, a permanent, 500% movement speed bonus while in Gunzerk. Just Got Real is never going to get used. Sexual Tyrannosaur would give us extra healing, but I feel like if I just spec Hard to Kill, that's 10% of our health a second now, so that's pretty cool. Do I only have 8 skill points? No, I don't. Okay. Ain't Got Time to Bleed is going to be a bunch of extra healing. Alright, so now we regen 80% of health a second on top of 10% passively. We could spec I'm the Juggernaut for hopefully actually usable DR. And then, I mean, dot wiping is funny. I don't know exactly how this works out, so let's just make it like 200% dot wipe. And then, I don't even know, we just have skill points left over, man. Like, this is what it is. So the 10% health regen a second doesn't feel like 10%. Just gonna put that out there immediately. But we should theoretically have our insane money shot damage, so that's gonna be pretty cool. I need to get my health capped out, or else I'm never gonna be able to use it, because Inconceivable is gonna kick in. But until then, like, we can try this out. Oh, that's... Oh, wow. Oh, what is causing this? I can't even turn my camera. Why? Who? Is it Bus? It must be Bus, right? I have infinite ammo because of Inconceivable. Alright, hold on. We gotta do some adjustments. Jesus. Alright, let's try this again. Who needs to swap to your other weapon? Okay, so yeah, that's pretty low effort goofing right there. I don't think there's too much to test on the doorman. We'll do just a generic hoarder build next, I guess. So literally just slap that on. Maybe Topnia Gaming would also be appropriate, and Orc would also be appropriate, but we don't really need to do that to understand how this is about to feel, right? Oh wait, hold on. That's less fire rate than anticipated. Let me put the Rough Rider on. Yep, this is, I've just recreated 2014 Sal. That's all this is. It's literally just 2014 Sal gaming. And then if you procced 5 shots or 6, it's trying to be 5 shots or 6. Yeah, there you go. Huh. Yeah, that was a funny little test. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, just Sal things. You just do it because why not? Alright, well, let's test out 2 of our favorite off-meta Sal builds. We're gonna do melee, and we're gonna do grenade. So, the grenade is not really, like, raid boss material, because it's literally just double your fun, plus keep it piping hot. But 2 500% damage nades being chucked at dudes is pretty funny. So let me get a fastball. Okay, so for the fastball build, you literally have to shoot at an enemy to proc, get some to cool down. During get some's 3 seconds, keep it piping hot is active. So the build is literally just shoot, throw. Shoot, throw. Yep, this is how we play Sal. This is our meta fastball build. Bonus points if you don't down yourself. Kind of very useful for the build. Alright, let's test punching dudes in the mouth. That's all that's really left. It's not gonna feel as good as a character who's made for punching dudes in the mouth, but like... yeah. It's funny. Don't get me wrong, Melee Sal is hilarious, and we have a ton more survivability on this now. But yeah, compared to anyone who's actually made for melee, this is kind of just okay melee damage at best. Okay, so yeah, Sal's money shot, really, really good. Hoarder build, pretty funny. Out of bubblegum, gives tons of fire rate, so that's pretty funny. Yeah, he just becomes insanely more Sal-like. Don't put too many points in busts that can't slow down, or else your UI at your screen will get flipped, rather. And then, yeah, Inconceivable seems to give literally infinite ammo, which means no money shot chain for you, so be careful over-speccing that, or else you will just end up with infinite ammo, I guess. Unless you want that, in which case pop off. You don't get to use 5 shots or money shot ever again, but like, it is what it is. If you like that, you like that. Let's move on to our last character. 5,000 anarchy stacks. Boom. Now every single bullet will ricochet at all times with claws, because 5,000 anarchy stacks, we're gonna start missing dudes. Let's see. Cooking Up Trouble would give us a good amount of passive health regen for our tomfoolery that we're gonna get up to. So let's just go ahead and cap that out. Buck Up is always nice. Couple points into fancy mathematics is always pretty good. Unstoppable Force could give us so much movement speed that it's hard to keep track of stuff, so we'll just keep it at 25 points. The better half is literally just going to become a mag dumping skill, so let's put it at 20. Upshot Robot to keep him going. Made of Sterner Stuff. Lots of DR. Lots of melee damage for DT. Some cooldown would be pretty cool, so let's just put a couple points into this. 30 seems about right. Explosive Clap, no thank you. Potent as a Pony, that's 400% extra max health. That could actually feel pretty good. I'm gonna save myself for Metal Tree. More Pep. It's alright. Myelin, shock resistance is pretty good. Strength of 5 gorillas for DT could be nice. Shockstorm requires a crit kill, which I'm never going to get. So let's get that for right now. Shock and Awe will kill me on a barrel, so not doing that. Electrical Burn, having the chance to apply fire dots on Shock is pretty good, so we'll do that. Yeah, just do that. And then Evil Enchantress will give us a ton of extra damage there. Yeah, we have enough skill points for that. There we go, 600% more elemental effect chance, or elemental effect damage. 300% more shock damage. Finally, a useful shock gauge. Interspersed will crash my game. Make it sparkle will be funny. And now we have leftover points, so pony. Alright, there we go. So we are now fully spec'd out for the tomfoolery. We could run a couple things. I kind of wish I had a black hole shield. Maybe I get one, hold on. Okay, so for our equipment, black hole, because a chance to pull enemies, and then blood soaked will replenish it. Fastball, in case the anarchy gets a little too rough to use. Bone of the Ancients, because shock damage, and then elemental effect damage, hopefully actually being good, please. And then, yeah, just some shock equipment. We probably should pre-stack Anarchy, because we will be pre-stacking for a long time. Yeah. Go get him. Oh yeah, also we should be tanky, theoretically. No, but we have health regen. Maybe a true neutral Necro would be a good idea to get our mag size up. Yeah, because that'd just be a good idea. Also, our damage is pretty high. For only having 36 stacks of Anarchy. I guess that's the shock skill talking, but like still. I ain't complaining, that's pretty nice. They're struggling to break shield. Okay, yep, let's go pre-stack. We know what this is gonna do. Okay, we're at 1,700 stacks, and we're struggling to even stack on a crate right in front of us now. So I think we'll just take our 1,900 stacks and just go goof with that for a little bit before I even think about stacking more. Alright, DT is out with his Hide of Terra. I'm gonna put on the Black Hole for right now. Yep, that man's dead. Yep. Makes sense. If we hit them, they die. That's a big if. Alright, well, let's test out the melee stuff now. Honestly, not as strong as I was expecting it to be. Hold on, let me apply slag. There we go. Just kidding, DT is on it. Okay. Well, even with 1,900 stacks of Anarchy, the melee is trying its best. And I mean, of course, I am getting my shield back all the time, which isn't helping either. But, yeah, this is probably not going to work as well. Let's do some Fibber gaming. Alright, 94% more mag size. Oh my god. My back. Okay. I did not know that was going to do that. I apologize. Okay, there's only one weapon that can truly use this amount of stacks. It's the Hive. There's no way, like, anything else will be able to do this. So, yeah, I guess we're just using 2,930 something stacks to do our damage against Terra. That's at my foot. I should put on a sham. Commit. Please. Please. What do you mean that wasn't even that much damage? I've seen better damage without Anarchy. Alright, never mind. Can't even do that properly. I mean, it's a lot of damage when we can get some of it out, but, like, it's just... No, it's not possible to abuse it that well. Yeah, too many stacks of Anarchy is just too many. You just can't do anything with it. It's just not really that feasible to do. Alright, what did we learn from this? Honestly, not much. It turns out if you scale characters up, they become absurd. This is just kind of true. Like, there's just not much else to add to it. We could probably gas up the characters a little bit better if I took more time to fully spec it out and, like, think about it. But this is just insanity. You don't need to really, like, do this to make this mod fun. You can just goof. Literally from, like, level 5, you're able to get a capstone and then almost get another capstone. Like, and then at level 6, you can get 2. And then at level, like, 9, you can get a third. So it's just really, really silly. There is no seriousness about this. If you literally just wanted to goof around for a day or two, you could. I might try to wedge this into other mods in the future just to see what it'll do because I think it'd be kind of funny. But, like, also that probably won't work. But, like, that's really all this mod is. You just get a lot of skill points, you get a lot of skills, just dump into them whatever you think is funny. That's all there really is to add to this. This is the Limitless mod, part 2.